that sound. I'm here in El Paso this weekend because I worship a God who is impatient with injustice. A God who demands that migrants must not be wronged, but our obligation is so much greater. In the book of Leviticus, we're commanded that the migrant who sojourns with you shall be to you as your citizens. And even more, we are commanded to love the migrant as you love yourself. 36 times the Hebrew Bible repeats this obligation, yet the directive to love our neighbor is issued only once. Why? Why? Because it's obvious and straightforward to love what is familiar. But to love the migrant, the stranger, the one who might not look like you, who might speak with an accent or pray differently than you do, yet who is also loved by God. We must love them as well. In fact, today we must love them even more. Today they are vulnerable to hatred, to xenophobia, to violence, to separation, to deportation, to detention. Today we are witnessing an unprecedented increase in cruel attacks on migrants, including zero-tolerance policies that make it more difficult for them to enter the United States legally. Indeed, they need our love today more than ever. My faith requires me, with every fiber of my being, to oppose inhumane conditions in which infants, children, and their parents are kept in overcrowded cage-like facilities without diapers, forced to sleep on concrete floors, and to go without toothbrushes or showers for weeks. This disgraceful policy of deliberate cruelty is a moral affront to the values to which this nation aspires. It demands not that we look away, but rather that we look closer. That we draw the eyes of this nation to this place where our collective humanity is being questioned. Will we act now to stop the demonization of fathers and mothers who, like each of us, would do anything to protect their children and to see them thrive? Or will we let this administration continue on a path that will leave our children and grandchildren asking us, what did you do in the face of that inhumanity? We have come here to bear witness and to act, to refuse to remain silent, to say clearly, being an immigrant is not a crime. Being a refugee is not a crime. Seeking asylum is not a crime. Seeking a better life is not a crime. We call upon the administration to uphold the dignity of immigrants, to stop putting families in cages, to stop tearing children away from parents, and to stop denying asylum seekers their legal rights. We call on Congress to stop funding detention and deportation by ICE and by Customs and Border Protection. Invest in the well-being of our immigrant neighbors, not in the policies that criminalize them. Immigrant judges and provide more legal assistance to those migrants, thereby ensuring their legal rights are protected by our nation, not violated by our nation. We are currently in the middle of the 3 weeks leading up to Tisha B'Av, when Jews mourn the destruction of our ancient temples that stood in Jerusalem and led to our exile. We know what it's like to flee home, to face persecution. Our history would have been so much different had others stood up for us and had other nations welcomed us. So this year, we not only mourn our own history, but also the harm being inflicted on those who are fleeing their homes today. Like the biblical Rachel, who wailed with bitter cries for her children, Kol b'Rama nishma, so do we cry out for these migrants to our elected officials who have the power to change our country's immigration system, we join with our partners in the immigrant community and with other people of faith, urge the administration to enact just and compassionate immigration policies now. Our God is impatient with injustice. That God would have it no other way.